if I wrote the story of what happened to me this last weekend as if it were a fiction and gave it to a publisher, they would say, nope, gotta redo it. This is too far-fetched. Nobody's gonna follow you here. This is just too crazy. There's no way that many things can happen and that many planets can align. It's just too crazy. So go try again. Go rewrite it, because that story ain't gonna fly. That's writing exactly what happened. What happened, I'm gonna have to compile the pictures and the video because it's just insane. To start off with, you need to know one thing. There are very few true orthopedic emergencies. Outside of spine surgery, in orthopedics, there's about 2 true emergencies where the doctor on call runs to the operating room to take care of them as fast as possible. One of them is a hip dislocation, not in a total hip replacement, but in an actual patient who has their own hip. A hip dislocation, you run there and get it put back in as fast as you can because the cartilage is dying. The second one is a calcaneus fracture, a heel bone fracture, where the bone gets yanked off and broken in half by the Achilles, by the pull of the Achilles, and it's trying to poke itself through the skin. So the heel bone gets split in half like a duckbill, and that sharp edge is being pulled up against the skin by the Achilles, and the Achilles is just spasming. You know, the gastroc and the soleus, the calf muscles, they're spasming because that's what they do when they shorten up. And so the Achilles is the biggest tendon in your body. The calf muscles are the biggest muscles below your knee. They're pulling up and leveraging this piece of bone, sharp edge of bone, against the skin that's really thin back there. There's no soft tissue coverage. And so it's trying to make it pull through the skin. Give that an hour, sometimes 2. It'll start to erode the skin from the inside out. The skin will die, and then the patient is relegated to 2 years of surgeries, skin grafts, wound care, plastic surgeries. Then they could get an infection. They might have to have a tendon graft. There's even cases where this happens and the person ends up losing their foot because it's so devastating. You're just not good options for covering that area of the body with tissue. So this is a devastating, possibly devastating injury, even in the best of circumstances when they're close to a hospital. The other problem is you can't fix it with a splint, because a splint, even if it could hold that piece of bone down, which it never would, even if it could hold that piece of bone down, it's putting pressure on the skin and it would never move. It would just put pressure there, and so it would kill it from the outside in instead of from the inside out. So there is no splint that can hold that piece of bone where it needs to be. That is the setup for what happened to my brother on Saturday, where he broke his calcaneus in this way, and I was there and able to put it back in place. You might have seen some of the story on my reels where the helicopter rescue from sister-in-law's brother, York Galland, but I will have to do some compiling to get all of the videos and pictures together, because the story it's astounding and it's amazing. And with one really crappy thing that happened, 50 really cool things happened. And it was a fun thing. Well, fun. It was an amazing thing for everybody to be involved, and an amazing story to tell. So I'm going to get all that put together in the next couple of days here so I can share it.